Tuesday night. House was quiet. Emma had gone out again. Wine and laughs with her usual circle of high-volume, high-opinion friends. I didn't mind. I liked the silence. Or maybe I'd just learned to live in it. I was sitting at the kitchen table, half drinking a lukewarm cup of chamomile tea, scrolling through her laptop. Not snooping. Genuinely wasn't. She'd told me earlier to check the downloads folder for a pasta recipe she wanted to try this weekend. Olivia's specialty, apparently. And then I saw it. A file, casually dropped among PDFs and shopping lists. Scores, final edited.xlsx. At first I thought it was work-related. Emma's in marketing. She lives in spreadsheets. But something about the all-caps edited part made me click. And that's when the ground shifted. It opened instantly. No password, just columns and rows. Name, looks, intimacy, money, social presence, recommend to a friend, total score, comments. I frowned. Then my eyes started catching names. Matt, Olivia's husband, Gabe, Amanda's guy, Kyle, Jordan, Jason, and then Nick, my name, my row, dead center. I didn't even scroll right away. I just stared at it for a second, like it might vanish if I blinked hard enough. But then I did scroll, and saw this. Looks, 310. Loser haircut, still wearing that hoodie from college. Nick needs a style wake-up call. Intimacy, 210. Like reading from Cosmo 2008. Predictable, mechanical, no surprise factor. Money, 510. Stable but boring, like getting socks for Christmas. Social presence, 410. Sweet but invisible, fades into furniture at dinner parties. Recommend to a friend, 110. Only if she enjoys TED Talks and emotional constipation. Total score, 1550. And below it, the kicker. Rank, 8th place. Last. And a note. Nick's like the background character in a rom-com. You forget he's there until the credits roll. I didn't breathe for a few seconds. I felt my fingers loosen around the mug. I should have been angry. I should have slammed the laptop shut or thrown it across the room. But I didn't. I just stared. And for the first time in a long time, I looked at myself from the outside. How did Emma see me? How long had she seen me this way? The guy who does the dishes quietly. The guy who doesn't complain when she stays out late. The guy who plans weekend getaways and gets told, "You're so sweet, babe," with the same voice you'd use on a dog that just sat for a treat. I was a damn footnote in my own life. I closed the file, sat back, and let the words echo. Background character. I opened a new blank doc, typed one line. They gave me a 3. Let's see what happens when I stop playing safe. I saved it, smiled faintly, and for the first time in years, felt something spark. Not rage, not pain, purpose. After that night, something shifted in me. I didn't say a word to Emma. I didn't ask why I was a punchline in her group chat. I didn't accuse her of anything. Hell, I even made her coffee the next morning like I always did. But something in my chest, something quiet and soft, had died. And in its place, something sharper had started to grow. The first thing I did was cut my hair. Nothing drastic, but I went to a real barber this time. Not the $10 chain place Emma always laughed about. I let the guy take his time, shape my jawline with a fade, trim the beard I barely maintained. I looked in the mirror afterward and thought, I've got cheekbones. Emma noticed that night. She looked up from her phone and blinked. You did something with your hair? I shrugged. Felt like changing it. Looks different. Good different, I guess. Her voice was neutral. Too neutral. Like she didn't want to admit she liked it too much. That was her thing, withholding praise like it was a currency. But I didn't press. I just smiled politely and went back to my book. Next, the gym. I'd had a membership for years, the kind you renew and forget. This time, I showed up. 4 times a week. Nothing flashy, just consistency. Strength training, posture work, some boxing drills for cardio. 2 weeks in, my body started to remember it was alive. I wasn't aiming for abs. I wanted edge. I wanted to see something in the mirror that looked like it could say no and mean it. At home, I started cooking for myself. Meals with protein, color, and zero effort to please anyone else's palate. Emma raised an eyebrow the first time I made steak with asparagus instead of our usual pasta night. No carbs? No expectations, I said flatly. Just what I felt like. She gave a dry laugh. Who are you and what have you done with my husband? I smiled. Upgrading. Thought I'd give myself a better score. She paused for half a second, then went back to her wine glass. There were other little things. I stopped automatically asking her how her day was. Stopped giving those absent-minded shoulder rubs she never thanked me for. I spent more time out, sometimes at the gym, sometimes just walking through bookstores, sipping coffee, existing on my own terms. At first, she didn't question it. Then she started watching me more. One night, I came home from the gym a little later than usual. My shirt was clinging to me, damp from sweat. She looked up from the couch, blinked. You seeing someone? I looked her dead in the eye. No, I said, but someone's starting to see me, finally. She didn't laugh. I started tracking things, not in a spreadsheet, but mentally. Every time she reached out for physical affection with no warmth, noted. Every time she made a joke at my expense in front of friends, logged. Every moment she acted like she was doing me a favor by being my wife, remembered. But I didn't retaliate. Not yet. This wasn't about revenge, not in the traditional sense. This was inventory. This was me finally seeing the ledger and realizing how deeply in the red I'd been. And I was done paying interest on a marriage built on quiet ridicule. One night, I watched her fall asleep on the couch, half drunk, TV humming some reality show in the background. I stood over her for a long moment and thought, if I left right now, she wouldn't chase me. She'd make a joke about it in the group chat. But I wasn't going to leave. Not yet. I still had one more thing to do. Make sure they all saw what they threw away. A few weeks later, I overheard Emma talking on the phone in the kitchen. She thought I was in the garage tuning my bike. Her voice was playful, tipsy. No, I swear, we're doing it this time. Full-on game show style. Husband trivia, matching questions, even a scoreboard for fun. Loser buys dinner for all the girls. Pause. Laughter. Oh, you know Nick's gonna come in last again? Poor guy's consistent, I'll give him that. I didn't move. Didn't even blink. I just stood in the shadows of the hallway, gripping a wrench in my hand like it was the hilt of something far older and sharper. They were doing it again. Another game. Another laugh at my expense. But this time, I was going to show up. When she asked me that night, I didn't flinch. Babe, we're doing a little game night at Amanda's in 2 weeks, like couples trivia and stuff. You don't have to. I'll be there, I said before she finished. She looked surprised. Her eyes narrowed. Really? I nodded. It might be fun. She hesitated, just for a second, like she sensed something she couldn't name. Okay, well, it's casual, like jeans and t-shirt kind of thing. Sure. But I already had my outfit picked. Tailored shirt, dark jeans, watch I hadn't worn in years. Nothing loud, just calculated sharpness. I had no intention of blending in this time. The next 2 weeks, I was clinical. I printed the spreadsheet, the original one with their husband scores, and tucked it into a black folder. I also collected a few bonus items. Screenshots of the file's metadata, chat messages between the girls that I found synced to our shared tablet. A few gems like, ugh, I swear, if Nick starts talking about finance podcasts again, I'm gonna throw myself into a wine barrel. I'm pretty sure Emma keeps him around because he folds laundry and doesn't ask for anything physical. Bonus points for being quiet. Makes him easier to ignore. They thought they were clever. They didn't realize I'd learned the one skill none of them had. Patience. 2 days before the party, I stood in front of the mirror. Not flexing, just looking. My face was leaner, eyes sharper, shoulders broader. The soft man I used to be, gone. And still, somewhere deep inside, part of me whispered, "Is this too much? Should I just walk away quietly?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. But then I remembered the tone in Emma's voice when she joked about me. Like I wasn't even in the room. Like I was the dog they forgot to let out before bed. No, they made this a game. And now, I was going to end it. The evening came wrapped in laughter and cheap wine. Amanda's house smelled like scented candles and too much perfume. The kind of place where you wipe your feet at the door, but still feel like you tracked in mud just by existing. There were about 10 of us, 5 couples. Emma was glowing, already a little flushed from the wine. Her laugh echoed across the living room, that performative kind of joy she saved for company. She looked beautiful, radiant even, and I didn't feel a damn thing. That used to scare me. Now it just clarified things. I got a few glances when we walked in. Matt nodded. "Nick? Looking sharp, man." "Thanks," I replied. Calm, even, controlled. Amanda smirked. "Emma's been hiding you, huh?" Emma shot her a look. "Oh, please, he's just discovered buttons." Laughter, mine included, though mine was hollow by design. I took a seat, folder still tucked beneath my arm. We played a few icebreaker rounds first. Nothing serious. Just giggles, playful jabs, too many inside jokes that I wasn't part of. And then came the main event. Amanda stood up, holding a stack of note cards. She beamed like a game show host. "All right, ladies and gents, it's time for the ultimate partner challenge. Answer questions, score points, win bragging rights. You know the drill." Laughter. A few cheers. Emma leaned over and whispered, "Just don't embarrass me, okay?" I smiled. "I'll do my best." She didn't catch the second meaning. First question, what's your spouse's favorite comfort food? I wrote down, grilled cheese with pickles. Emma got it wrong. She wrote pad thai. She rolled her eyes and nudged me. Ugh, that was years ago. You still think I'm the same girl from college? I just shrugged. Apparently I'm not very observant. Second question, if your partner could trade lives with one celebrity, who would it be? She wrote, Elon Musk. I had written, David Goggins. The room laughed. Seriously, Nick? Matt snorted. You want to be yelled at by your inner demons all day? I smiled, slow and still. Better than being ignored by your wife for years. The room quieted for just a beat too long. Emma forced a laugh. Yikes, someone's been listening to too many Joe Rogan clips. They moved on, a few more rounds. I didn't care about the scores. I was waiting for that moment. And then Amanda clapped her hands. Bonus round. Now this is just for fun. A little husband leaderboard we made a while back. Total joke, promise. I saw it coming. I felt it in the shift of Emma's weight next to me. Her fingers tensed slightly on her wine glass. She didn't look at me. Amanda turned to the projector screen. A slide appeared. An Excel spreadsheet. The same categories, same names, updated scores. Laughter broke out almost immediately. Gabe's still in the lead. Matt, you dropped a point in intimacy. Oh my God, someone gave Kyle a 0 in recommend to a friend. And then silence, because I stood up. I walked calmly to the center of the room and pulled the black folder from under my chair. If we're doing spreadsheets, I said evenly, I brought one too. Amanda blinked. Wait, what? I opened the folder and took out a printout. This is the original, the unedited version, the one you all filled out weeks ago, the one Emma left open on our shared laptop. Emma turned to me slowly. Her face froze. Nick. No, don't speak. You had your turn. I lifted the page. Looks, 310. Loser haircut. Intimacy, 210. Like Cosmo 2008. Finances, 510. As boring as a tax return. I turned to the others. You all ranked your husbands, laughed about them, compared notes, wrote jokes, snide little comments, behind our backs. But I didn't come here to beg for respect. I laid the sheet down, then took out another. Screenshots, messages. One from Olivia in the group chat. Pretty sure Emma keeps him around because he folds laundry and doesn't ask for anything physical. Emma buried her face in her hands. Another message. Amanda. My guy's dumb, but at least he knows what he's doing in bed. Gasps. One husband stood up. You said what? And it spread. I didn't gloat. I just stood tall, centered. You called me a background character, a boring man, a safe bet, the least interesting option in a room full of loud choices. I looked around. Turns out, boring men read, boring men remember, boring men know how to wait. Then I turned to Emma. I won't yell, I won't beg, but I will leave. She stared at me, pale, speechless. Nick, wait. But I was already walking toward the door. No need to score this part, I said over my shoulder. I know exactly how I did. I had barely made it to the front steps when I heard her voice behind me. Nick, wait, please. Her heels clicked against the hardwood, desperate and uneven, the kind of sound you only hear when someone realizes too late that they've burned the bridge they're standing on. I didn't stop right away. I kept walking toward the car. She caught up just as I opened the driver's side door. Nick, please just let me talk. I turned slowly, not angry, not bitter, just done. You had months to talk, Emma. She looked up at me, mascara smudged under her eyes, hair coming undone. The confident, put-together woman from inside that room was cracking fast, and for the first time in years, I wasn't the one breaking. I didn't think you'd ever see that file. It was just stupid fun, you know? Something the girls started. It wasn't supposed to mean anything. I tilted my head. You gave me a 2 out of 10 for intimacy. It was a joke. Was it also a joke when Olivia said you keep me around because I do the laundry and don't ask for anything physical? She flinched. Good. That was out of line. I didn't say that. No, you just laughed. You always laugh when it's at my expense. She wrapped her arms around herself like she was cold, but the air was still and warm. I didn't realize it hurt you so much. I actually smiled at that. Small, sad. That's the problem, Emma. You never realize when you hurt me. You only notice when I stop letting you. She stepped forward. Look, we can fix this. I'll delete the file. I'll talk to the girls. We'll start over. I swear I didn't mean for it to go this far. I shook my head, calm and steady. You already ranked me, Emma. Gave me a number. Treated me like a product on a shelf. What's the plan now? Rebrand me? No, she whispered. I miss you. I looked her in the eyes, really looked. And for the first time in a long time, I saw the truth. She missed what I used to be. Quiet, predictable, safe. Someone to fold the towels and absorb the sarcasm. But that version of me, he was dead the night I found that spreadsheet. You don't miss me, Emma, I said quietly. You miss control. Her lip trembled. She reached for my hand. Don't do this. We're married. I gently pulled my hand away. Yeah, we were. And then I got in the car, started the engine, and left her standing in the driveway, blinking against the night, unsure when she lost the man who had never once raised his voice, until he stopped speaking to her at all. 3 months. That's how long it's been since the night I walked away. And you know what? I don't miss the sound of the dishwasher humming while she talked over me. I don't miss the cold side of the bed she kept claiming as just tiredness. I don't miss being a punchline in someone else's story. These days, my mornings are quieter, but not the empty kind of quiet, the peaceful kind. I moved into a small loft downtown. Nothing fancy, but everything here is mine. My coffee mug, my playlist, my space. I started freelancing, something I'd always wanted to do, but never had the permission for. Turns out, I'm damn good at what I do when no one's rolling their eyes behind me while I talk about it. I got into photography too. Bought a decent camera, started going on weekend trips, mountains, coastlines, long roads with no one to answer to. Sometimes I don't check my phone for hours. Feels like breathing for the first time. Emma called me the first week. Texted, emailed. It was all the same. Let's talk. I've changed. We can fix this. She even sent a photo of us once. A memory from Paris. Captioned, "Remember this?" We were happy. Yeah, I remembered. I remembered holding the camera while she posed. I remembered asking a question about the Louvre and her saying, "God, Nick, you overthink everything." I remembered the night she rolled away from me in bed and said, "Not tonight, just hold me." She wanted to rewind to a fantasy that never really existed, so I never replied. Last week, I ran into Amanda and her husband. Well, ex-husband now. She looked thin, tired. Not just physically, I mean worn out. He nodded at me, gave me a tight smile, and said, "Hell of a night, that party." I said nothing. Amanda couldn't meet my eyes. Good. I've been seeing someone. Claire. Met her at a bookstore, of all places. She was standing in the philosophy section, holding a copy of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. We got into a conversation about Stoicism, and it turned into coffee. Then dinner. No games, no scoreboard. Just two people being exactly who they are, without keeping tally. She doesn't rate me. She listens. And I listen back. Funny how that works. Sometimes I think about the spreadsheet. I even printed it out and kept it once, but a month ago, I finally burned it. Watched the numbers curl and blacken in a fire pit behind my building. Felt lighter than I had in years. Not because I needed revenge, not because I needed to win, but because I knew one thing with absolute clarity. I'm not a number. I'm not a score. I'm not someone's background character. I'm the whole damn story now, and I write every word myself.